Hopefully my lighting isn't too awful, but I'm moving right now, so I'm losing my lamps, losing my light. I still have some illness I'm dealing with. I'm coughing a lot, so there might be some random cuts in my video. But today we have the Give Me Glow Bad Witch Club palette. I believe this probably came out, I want to say it was like 2 years ago for Halloween. And recently, for the past couple months, this palette has been on sale on the Give Me Glow website I think for at least a good amount less. As you can tell there, I really like the artwork. It's very witchy, very Halloween. Shade names? Yeah. All the hats on the back have the shade names in the palette. And I picked this up mostly just because it was on sale. I was trying to pick, I think, some other things up, and I was like, if this isn't my chance now, I don't know when I'm going to grab it. So there's all the ingredients on the back of the box. And then we have the actual palette, which looks exactly the same. Looks like it also has the same exact information. So in theory, you could throw your box away and still have all the information and everything you need on the actual palette. There is a mirror in here. Oh my god, it's slipping. There's a mirror in here. There's a really pretty kind of border. Let's see if I can show. There's a border all along the mirror. It's cute, just a little moment. And then here we have the shades and the colors of the palette. I feel like the first time I saw this palette, it was on, was it the Baddie Bean YouTube channel? She's a more kind of like alternative kind of makeup girl. So I feel like I remember seeing this palette on her channel, and even though I have been back to the Give Me Glow website, it took me a while to finally purchase this because I felt like the pans looked so big. Let me see if I can try and get a little bit more light in here. It's really gray today. There we go. The pans look so big to me. Here's my pinky. And they're not like super big. They're a little larger than usual. But overall, I mean, I really like this palette. I think I was a little bit disappointed with the shimmers because the shimmers are more like toppers than they are like shimmers. But other than that, the actual like matte shades in here are really, really nice. I feel like in any other time, I might have been like, oh, I feel like all these shades are kind of in the same tone, if you know what I mean. Like there's not really a very light or very dark, but that's not true at all. We have a light shade in here, and then we have this light shade over here, this light shade over here, this light shade over here, this light shade over here. I think it's a little bit more like a light shade and a dark shade, not so much in the middle, but for the intensity of this palette and the colors that they picked out, I feel like it really works. I feel like these two kind of confused me a little, but I was able to create a really nice kind of pinky purple look. And so it did give me a little bit of a chance to be creative and think about it a little bit. So it's not spilled out for you, but I feel like all these colors go together. I have always loved a purple green combo. To me, in my head, that makes sense to me. If it doesn't make sense to you, then like I said, it allows you to be a little bit more creative. For me, the creativity came in with the pinks because I was like, what do these pinks have to do with these kind of periwinkle, violet, and green shades? But I was able to all make it work together, and I had fun using this. I really like the mattes in here. I feel like the mattes are really solid. So let's see. I think my favorite one was this one. The Craft is On is the name of this shade. I really liked the mattes in here. And then let's do You Can't Fly with this. Another beautiful shade. And then we'll do I'm 100% That Witch. And as you can see, these are like the lighter colors. But they're so beautifully intense. So pretty. I'm going to swatch these. I just love how bright and vibrant these are. I'm so happy I pulled this out. And I know, because any other time, I probably would have waited to pull this out for Halloween, right? Like I feel like it was a Halloween palette. It's a witch palette if it's a theme for Halloween. But I had to pull it out, I feel like, in this month of April as we get into May. Because when I think about April, I think of these more pastel-y kind of lighter colors, and then as we go into May, I think of very bright and intense colors, and I think that's why I had pulled this out, because I feel like there's some kind of pastel-y-ish bright colors in here, but at the same time there's these really bright, intense kind of colors. I think, let's see, watch a little bit of Why the Resting Witch Face, and probably Cheers, which is just so you can see the intensity of those two. Not trying to dye my skin right now or go too deep, but they're really, really pretty. I'm sorry, that's my crappy swatch, because I'm trying not to dye my skin. These will definitely leave a stain because of how intense they are. That's another poopy swatch on my end. I feel like these were all really easy to work with. I really love the colors. I'm probably going to swatch all 3 of the shimmer shades just because they're not as intense as I thought they were going to be. They're still pretty, don't get me wrong. They're still really pretty shades. I was able to pick them up on a brush. They were just not as intense as they could have been. But they are kind of nicer as a, more of a, to me, they feel like a topper. Just because they weren't like super wet looking. They weren't incredibly like fine. They felt a little bit see-through, transparent. That's usually what tells me it's a bit more of a topper versus like a metallic. You can see this green's a lot more metallic than that purple. And then we have something like this. It's definitely more of a topper because it's just not as intense when swatched. The green is definitely the most metallic, and then the purple and this kind of fuchsia shade, way more topper vibes. And I know this is supposed to be, or maybe I don't know, maybe I don't remember, but I feel like this was supposed to be a Halloween launch. Give Me Glow itself isn't really like a spooky alt brand, so the fact that they came out with this, I'm almost certain this came out for Halloween. And even though it is a Halloween launch, I think these colors, I mean, they kind of speak for themselves. If you want something super bright, super colorful for this spring coming into the summer, these are real, this screams spring and summer to me. Like, I know it's supposed to be Halloween, but this screams spring and summer. I just love the intensity and how bright it is. I think this is a really great spring witch palette. Absolutely, hands down. I'm keeping it. This one's staying in my collection.